It's like we got the force, bitch. We got the force. We got the force, bruh. What up, guys? Alchemist saying something nice for you. So before we get into the video, in case you didn't know, I'm trying to hit 10,000 subs before the end of the year. That's my goal. So I highly appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And if you already subscribed, share this with as many people as you can. Share it on social media and stuff, so we get some more people eyes on my build videos over here. Cause hey, I be cooking. So today we got a fun build. I cannot say necessarily this can be used in try hard content. I did good with it in -30, but there are way more powerful builds out there. But this build is very fun. And ain't nothing wrong having a fun build, okay? So the exotic we're using today is the new Warlock exotic called Deimosuffusion. Okay? Its exotic perk is, while the Strand Super is equipped, which I hate. I wish it didn't say that part. I wish it could have been any super, because I would have been cooking with this exotic on Prismatic. But because it says Strand Super, I just did a pure Strand build because it kind of ruined the idea I was trying to go for, right? But it said casting your rift will suspend nearby combatants, which y'all seen. It's like 6 meters, so it's a good radius on it, okay? Suspend deals damage over time, which y'all seen. The enemies were taking tick damage while they suspended, and the longer they suspended, the more damage they take over time. It says which heals you in the process. So every time they take tick damage, I get health back. Targets who break free from suspension suffer additional damage. So if they break free, they take a chunk of damage. And then defeating suspended targets heal you a moderate health. So if I showcase this a little bit right now, it'll be kind of hard to do, but I'll just stand right here on this laser, right? If I go over here and then I suspend them, you see my health is going up by ticks. And if they die, I got a moderate health, as you've seen, a good chunk of health. So that's what that means. That's all this exotic does. Nothing too complicated. Basically, your suspend now has tick damage. That's the simplest way to explain it, and you get health for killing suspended enemies. So I wanted to make a build for Warlocks to just pure suspending, but I wanted to utilize the artifact to make it more unique and powerful. The stats you're going for in this build is 100 grenade, because we will be using a mind spun aspect to eat our grenades. 100 class ability, because you want to spam your rift as much as possible to do the suspending effect for this cool exotic. And then I went 150 weapons just so I can get a lot of ammo for my navigator in this build. Okay, artifact, you're utilizing the artifact Singularity Blade while you have a void elemental buff. Melee and sword hits weaken targets, while melee and sword, this is just making that our arcane needle can weaken. Okay, but the main thing we really want in this artifact just for this build is power from pain, which is rapid final blows against weakened combatants grant you devour. Now you're probably wondering, Alchemist, how do we get weakened in this build if we're running pure Strand? So the way we're getting weakened in this build on pure Strand is Fortunate Star. We're using a weapon that has Demoralize. Demoralize makes it that whenever we get a precision kill, it does an explosion of weakening around the target we just killed, and then we can kill those enemies that's weakened from that explosion, and boom, we get devoured. You only need 4 kills, so as long as you kill one enemy and then it spread weakness to everybody else, you kill them however you want, whether it's through threading and stuff, and you will get devoured. And then we post a brace on this bow, so when we do kill them weak enemies with the bow, we'll get a void over shield for more survivability in this build. Because I'm not rocking Weave Walk on this build, so you know, getting Weapon Mail is a little bit more complicated than just, you know, going into the Weave Walk. Okay, so this gonna give us Devour and Void over shield. I usually don't do complicated builds like this because I want to keep the builds more simple and casual friendly, basically. But and usually my hunter builds are the only ones I really be doing some like very intricate things on. But this time I had to do something intricate with this build because the exotic is not that crazy. I ain't gonna lie, this exotic is very mid, but I wanted to use it because it's new and make something cook with it. Okay, so as y'all can see with the bow, if I kill somebody, it does that void explosion. And the explosion is pretty big enough. I know these acolytes are spread away from each other, but as you see, I just make that person weakened. As long as they a little bit close enough, you can do that, and I got devoured. Once you get devoured prop, Then you can just get kills however you want to keep Devour forever. And then, as you can see, we have Wolven Mail because of Navigator on in our build. So Navigator gonna be the one that gives us Wolven Mail for 10 seconds. And Navigator also had got a buff recently in Edge of Fate, where basically while you have Wolven Mail on, this gun does more damage. So we're getting Wolven Mail from Navigator, we're getting a Void Overshield from our Fortunate Star, and we're getting Devoured from the artifact. Okay, so you got a lot of survivability in this build, especially with Void Overshield and Wolven Mail stacked on with each other. You just gotta get really used to the gameplay loop of switching between the weapons. Like once you get Devoured with Fortunate Star, then swap to Navigator, start killing enemies with Navigator, so you always have Devoured and Wolven Mail on. And you can always swap back to Fortunate Star whenever you want to reprot Weakening, get Devoured back, and get that Void Overshield while you're in the process of trying to get that Devoured back. Okay, my heavy, I'm using Submersion because it's just an amazing crossbow heavy weapon to deal damage. You got Chill Clip, good for overload champions and whatnot. So that's why I got this. Okay, but before we continue, shout out to today's sponsor, Deviant.net. Guardians, I would like to recommend you all a great service the Traveler blessed us with, Deviant.net. Here, you can find a team to complete different activities for you, like raids, dungeons, trials, exotics that you don't have, and even power grind. No longer do you have to torture yourself with grind level torture. You can give it to somebody else. You can torture somebody else with it, okay? All the services can be done without account sharing, so no worries about securing your account and having to give away your login information. To order a service like that, all you have to do is talk to an operator in the bottom right corner where it says chat and schedule a self-play appointment with your order. The website has been working for a long time. It has a lot of players, reviews, and payment methods. You can check out everything yourself, and with the promo code AlchemistKirito, you will have a 15% off discount on all services. If you have any further questions, just ask the operator in the bottom right corner. What you waiting for? Get help from Deviant.net today. Subclass, we're rocking Healing Rift. We're rocking Shackle Grenades because we will be using, like I said, Mind Spun Invocation. Which basically, when we eat our Shackle Grenade, every kill we get does a Suspend Explosion. So just showcase it a little bit. Mind Spun stays on for 20 seconds, I believe. 25 seconds. And every time I get a kill, it does a Suspend Explosion, as you can see. And don't matter what kills the enemy, anything will do the Suspend Explosion. The reason I want this is because the whole point of the the whole point of the exotic is suspend. The exotic doesn't say how the suspend have to be done. It don't have to be through your rift. It can be through any means. So we're using this to suspend all the enemies in the room so they all take tick damage, and I just go crazy doing damage to them while they heal me, and they can't kill me because I'm getting healed from all the enemies that's being suspended 24/7. Okay, like I said, this build have a lot of survivability. You just got to move, strategically. The only time you will see survivability drop down is like there's no more enemies in the room and you're only purely fighting the boss. But in that moment, you can use your super Needle Storm to try to blitz the boss. Use your heavy crossbow, shoot Navigator to keep that Wolven Mail on you, but also sever the boss, make the boss do less damage. There's ways around it, okay? Then you always camp in your rift as well. And then the other aspect using We Recall, since we will be spamming our rift anyway, we might as well make it that whenever we pop our rift, we make a horde of threadlings go out there and fight for us. And then of course, while we deal damage, we'll make more threadlings as well to help fight with us. Fragments, and that's the reason why we ain't running this on Prismatic. I know we could have ran this on Prismatic and do like Feed the Void and Weaver's Call, but I really wanted Mind Spun Invocation in this build to really just go gun-ho into the Suspend Fantasy with this exotic, since that's the whole purpose of this exotic, right? If you're not a fan of Mind Spun Invocation, then one, you can go to Prismatic with this build, or two, you can change Mind Spun Invocation to Weave Walk to get that survivability, and then you'll just change your weapon from Navigator to New Malphus Pulse Rifle, the one that can suspend when you shoot it twice at an enemy then hold swear. You can go with that, but this does way more suspend. This leans more into the exotic fantasy, and I love to try with my builds actually revolve around what I'm trying to showcase, not the showcase being the side idea. So like, I know y'all kind of seen it out there right now. People using the Praxis Blade right now, but a lot of people that making the Praxis Blade builds, the builds don't really revolve around the sword. The sword is just in the build. Like, there's people over here doing getaway artist builds with Praxis Blade, and it's like, I can do that same thing with the getaway artist build without Praxis Blade. You get what I'm saying? So I want to make sure, I always try to make sure my builds revolve around what I'm trying to do. What's the main idea of the build? So I want to go purely suspending. Fragments. We have Thread of Mind. So anytime I kill a suspend enemy, we get a chunk of class ability energy, so we can spend my rift more often. And then of course, our threadlings, when they deal damage, when our threadlings deal damage, we get class ability energy as well. So you should always have your uptime of your rift non-stop, as long as you're suspending people 24/7 with Mind Spun, suspending all the enemies in the room, they dying, etc., etc. We got on Thread of Warding, so in case I don't have Navigator out at that moment, I pick an Overpower and get Woven Mail, just to keep the uptime up on it more often. But if you are consistent with the Navigator, you can take this fragment off, put on something else. We got on Thread of Continuity to make that enemy stay in the air suspended longer, which means even more tick damage for them to take before, you know, the suspend end and they take that chunk of damage. And then we have Thread of Evolution, just to make it that our threadlings do 33% more damage, since we will be spamming threadlings with our rift non-stop. Okay. Mods. I'm rocking Void Siphon and Harmonic Siphon for Strand Siphon, so that both my weapons make orbs of power for me. And then of course we're rocking Dynamo, because I will be going into a group of enemies to suspend them, so this will give me super energy for my supers. Wow, kind of crazy DC right here on camera. RPs, we're running Focusing Strike, so whenever I use my melee, I get class ability energy. Heavy Handed, so if I do kill somebody, Arcane Needle, I make an orb power for myself. And then Grenade Fawn, just give me some more grenade stat. You can run whatever you want right here in your RPs. I don't even need Grenade Fawn on. I had it on at first because I didn't have 100, but now that I do have 100 grenade stat, you can put this to whatever you want it to be. Yeah, melee getting grenade cooldown. Okay. Chest piece, your resist mods, just any resist mods, just make sure you have on melee damage resistance, because you will be going to a group of enemies to pop your rift. Leg piece, I got better already on, since I will be getting chunks of health already from everything else. I just need to pick up Orb Power, get health regen, and I will have Devour on most of the time. And then we got Void Weapon Surge and Strand Weapon Surge, makes the weapons do more damage in this kit. And then class item, we got Distribution on. Again, we popping our rift near a group of enemies, so this give me an ability energy for all my abilities, melee, grenade, and super, and the in-class ability, of course. And then we got Reaper on. I'll pop my rift, get a kill, make an orb. And then we got Bomber, so I get some grenade energy from popping my rift a lot, so I can eat my grenade again for Mind Spun to keep killing enemies and suspending them. This bond, I said bond. This build is a blast. I have fun using it. I did use it in -30. As long as you know how to juggle the weapons of kill with the bow, get you an overshield, weakening them, get that Devour proc, and then once you get the Devour proc, you can eat your grenade, start shooting with Navigator, get that Woven Mail, suspending everybody, and the Navigator staying on because you keep killing people. You're going to keep getting grenade energy because you got Devour on, so you can eat your grenade non-stop, so every kill you get, suspend people. Now you got Woven Mail on non-stop, and Devour, and yeah, you keep getting help from all the people you suspended and all that type of stuff. And then of course, while you're fighting with the bow, you can get a Void Overshield. This build is very strong. Again, I don't know if it competes against other exotics that's just way more busted, but it is doable and fun to use. The only drawback is, like, if a horde of enemies coming at you at once and you don't got your build set up yet, as in, like, you don't have Devour proc yet, you don't have Woven Mail on you yet because you're trying to shoot Navigator and stuff, you can feel swishy and then you can end up dying, okay? So just be a little bit careful about that. Other than that, very strong build if you know how to utilize it. Anyway, love you guys, appreciate you guys always, and until next time, stay up.